We're doing very well in the polls. We just had a poll 69 to 22, and with me at 69. And we're doing very well. We're way up in the polls from even 2 or 3 weeks ago where we were leading. But now we're really leading. And I think that our primary opponent, who will be the opponent, I guess, someday, even though I got him elected, but my primary opponent is sort of crashing. He said a lot of things that people don't like, including some votes that he took against Social Security and Medicare, which never helps in the polls. Robert went in, who I don't really know other than he's a highly respected lawyer, very, very respected. And he went in, he was in there for a few hours. And he was, I guess Cohn was a client of his, and he said this was all just the opposite. And then on top of it, he had another lawyer write a letter to the FEC, and that letter was devastating for him. I mean, everything he said was a lie. He should be indicted for lying. No, I think we're doing very well, and we did nothing wrong. They have absolutely no evidence, but it's not even a question of evidence. We did nothing wrong. Absolutely nothing. There's no misdemeanor. There was no anything. Everything that we did was 100% right. I just don't know how you can indict somebody when they have no case, and they know they have no case. And, this was supposed to happen a week ago, and a lot of this proof and evidence showed up over the last few days. The attorney went out, and he went to visit the grand jury. He was there for a long time explaining the facts. And this was, again, a very highly respected man who worked for Cohn. He said, no, it's just the opposite. And then on top of it, you had, which may have been even a bigger fact, you have a letter that talks about this whole thing in exactly the opposite way, and which really showed that Cohn was lying. He was lying badly, but he's known for that. He's sort of a con man. And, again, he was a lawyer who represented other people. And, he's supposed to have a certain allegiance to a client. Nowadays that doesn't mean so much with all of these prosecutors out there that just looking to make a name for themselves. Let them say what they want to say. We did nothing wrong at all. Mark Meadows did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. I'm president of the United States. I made beautiful statements. If you look at my statements, I wish you could read them off to your viewers.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
I called for peace. I called for all of these different things on numerous occasions during that few-hour period. And the problem was Nancy Pelosi, who's in charge of security, along with the mayor of D.C., and actually along with Mitch McConnell, it just came out with, they didn't do their job because they could have had soldiers, they could have had National Guard, they could have had a lot of protection, and they didn't want it. They turned it down. They're the ones. They didn't do their job. But if you look at the statements I made, they were beautiful statements. I will say this. They're making attorneys of this whole thing and almost everything else. I always used to think that attorneys really had a very high status in life, that when you had an attorney, the attorneys can't be subpoenaed, they can't be summoned to talk, et cetera, et cetera. But attorneys and attorney privilege doesn't mean anything anymore. I've never seen anything like it. Yeah. People have asked me, which is the worst aspect of the Biden? Everything. The economy is no good. Inflation's no good. The border's no good. The military, he's made it woke and made it weak. Afghanistan was the most embarrassing day or period in the history of our country. Every single thing. We were energy independent. Now we're begging Venezuela and other countries for energy. Can you imagine Venezuela? We're begging Venezuela for energy. No, there's not one thing that he's done that turned out well.